Okay, good morning everyone. Today I'm making another small tutorial on how to port stuff from xlgm 1.5, so for the 1.1 version of Excel to the 1.2, the latest. You'll need some things that I won't explain in this video. So you'll need a version of Blender. I suggest just the latest, so you can get the file in with the model, etc. And then we are going to get started. So what you're going to need to do first is download Asset Studio. It's on GitHub. You can easily find it and download it. So what we are going to do is we are going to load a file. I am going to go to my asset packs. These are all old files for me, so these are all 1.1 assets. All my other ones are in here already. So let's say I wanted to take, for example, I wanted to do the flannel. I'm going to load it in, and then I'm going to click the plus. You'll have two of these. What you want to do is find the one with the longest things here, with the most. So this one includes this and this. We are going to click this checkbox. We're going to model, export it, and then put it in our downloads or whatever, wherever you want your FBXs to save. We are going to save it in here. If this pops up, it shows it's saved. And we are going to close, and we are going to open our Blender file. For some of you this will be totally empty, but for porting you don't need to do much in Blender. So I will delete this stuff for a second. So we took what we are going to do is we are going to import our FBX that we just put in the downloads. We are going to look for it in our hierarchy, and then we are going to delete all these things until we have deleted the pose. So now the model appears on the body of the model in Blender. Normally all the weight is correct, so we don't need to do anything more with this. I'm going to do a quick check because I think I forgot something previous time, but oh, actually I didn't, so it's okay. So normally this will all be fine. What we need to do then is, so we click our model and then we click on this blue thing. We are going to see the armature, but it has no object. So we are going to choose armature 1. So it is fixed to the body. Then we check this. These are all here, so it's alright. To be sure, I just click on the mesh, I press Ctrl A, and I press all transforms. So this is alright. Then you are going to search for this thing, armature 1. You're going to make it visible. You're going to click your mesh, shift click the armature, go to File, export it as an FBX, and then you want to make a preset that has these properties. You can go back in one of my older videos and find the preset, but I'll just show you guys one more time. So you can take these two, click these, make sure this is all correct. Geometry, we are going to do this. Armature, we are going to do this. And the big animation, just make sure this is it. So you choose your file. I'll call this arflannel 1.2, and I'm going to export it. So now I exported it, and now we are going to do the Unity part. So what you need to do is download Unity Hub and download the according versions of that you can use for xlgm stuff. I am using version 2019.3.15f1, but you can also use 2019.4.8f1. I use this version because you can do cloud simulation on this one and not on the 4.8f1. So I'm going to work in this one now. So I'm going to open my Unity project. I also want you guys to have a look at the wiki Redgouf and Btay made, because they explain well on how to install the Unity package so that you can apply the right scripts to your models and FBXs. So in Blender it is just applying armature and stuff and nothing much more, and then Unity will be applying the script. You can add a normal, for example, in Unity, I'll show in a second, but it is not needed for xlgm 2 because you can use custom normals. So it's not needed, but if you have a model that uses a certain texture, but you don't want to make normals for every texture, then it's maybe easier to bake in a normal map in Unity, what I'll show in a second. Alright, it's loading. It may take some time for Unity. Definitely the first time will take a while, but it is not hard, and you can also always watch my previous tutorials. They are for 1.1. The Blender process is perfectly the same, but the Unity process is a bit different. So it's going pretty slow right now. It will probably get loaded in a couple seconds, hopefully, or in a minute or something. But my PC is pretty slow today. So I'll just show you the wiki for a second. So this is the wiki everyone made, Btay and Redgouf made. So you can read a lot on here. There is a lot to read, and it's pretty hard to understand in the beginning, but if you read it a couple of times, then you'll definitely get it when you try to make some stuff. So I should definitely so installing this stuff is pretty important. If you guys have never worked with a Unity project, you will not need to do the upgrading stuff. You will just need to install certain scripts and the asset bundle browser. But I also show that in another tutorial, how to import the bundle browser, but I'll still show you guys in here as well. But this explains it pretty well on how to install the package and stuff. Okay, now so my project has loaded, and I'll make a quick new map. So you guys won't have any of this if you load in, and you won't even have this. So what you'll have to do first is you'll go to assets, import package, custom package, and then download the you'll have to download this thing from the GitHub. You can download this xlgm modifier package, and it will install everything you need. So what I want you to do as well is go to Window, go to Package Manager, and you will see it will take a while to load all these things that will pop up in a second, but you want to install this one, Asset Bundle Browser. When you install it, it'll appear in Window, and then you can click this, and it will appear like this. What I like to do is I like to drag it next to my inspector so it is easy to work with. Alright, so now I'm going to import my asset, and I'm going to import the FBX I just did in Blender. So it's this one. So it appears in here. Now I'm going to right click, extract it from prefab. So now I have these two things. Now we are going to the left in the hierarchy, and then we are going to create an empty. We are going to rename it whatever we want. And then we are going to drag this in here. So now we have this. A very important step is then to take this and drag it back in here. This is your prefab. You're going to want to work in this. So we double click this. So now we have just this appearing on our screen. We are going to go to our actual mesh. We are going to update it when off screen. We are going to make it double-sided if it's like hollow in the inside. If you can see through it, you want to make it double-sided. We are going to put the smoothness down. Now, I want a normal on this specific item or a mesh, so I'm going to look for a normal. This is a normal mask, so it's a purple map. So you drag it in here, you click it, and then you're going to change default to normal map, change this to 16 and use crunch compression. Then we are going to click apply so that we can use it on our mesh. This always has to be done. So now we are going back to our mesh. We are going to drag the normal map in here. So now we can see a normal map has appeared on our mesh. So this is all good. Now we are going to the upper thingy and we are going to add our xlgm clothing gear metadata. In the display name, you'll have to want to name it the name you want to give to your mesh. We are going to put the creator name. If you port something from other people, I would suggest you put their name, but you can also put the original creator's name, or you can put the original creator's name and just say ported by whatever. But I would just make sure you definitely let the people know that it's an original mesh from someone else. So I'll just do this for my own. Then I'm going to choose the sprite. This is a top, so we are going to do top 2 times. Now the prefix, I wanted to keep it the same, so I'll call it AR flannel. And the alpha masks, this is a top, so you'll probably need 2. I'm going to need an arms 250 and the chest 200. This will hide the chest and this will hide the arms. I'll have a quick check. You can always check in the Excel gear resources to make sure you don't forget anything in the or any value in the alpha masking things. Now I don't want it layerable, and the alias I will use AR flannel, but you can also leave this empty. I'm just going to do this because I have another version of this one that uses the same textures, but this is not needed. So we have our display name, we have our creator name, we have the model, where we want it to appear, we have the prefix, we have the size of the alpha masks, what gives us the option to make alpha masks. We do not want it layerable. If you click this, you will be able to layer it with other pieces. And we have the alias or alias. Then we are going to click prepare xlgm clothing. And now to check one last thing, we are going back to our mesh, and this should appear. This stuff should appear. We are going to check one more time if it's updated when off screen. We make sure it's double-sided if it's hollow inside or you can see through it. We want the smoothness to 0, a normal map if needed, and then we can make our asset bundle. So what we are going to do is we are going to right click, add a new bundle, call it AR flannel, or whatever you want it to name it. You're going to drag in the prefab, then the mesh, the material, and if you bake the normal in, you also want this to drag it in. Then we are going to go to build. You can choose your output file where you want it to appear. I am going to force rebuild it. Make sure to check this. This will make sure your built asset will appear, and then I'm going to build it. So now it should be building the asset, and if I'm going to have a look at my output file and wait a couple of seconds, then I'll probably see that the newly built flannel will appear in here. So you just gotta give it some seconds before it's totally built, and here it is. So this file is your output file. You do not need the manifest file, it doesn't serve any purpose in xlgm. So then we can drag our asset into our asset packs and check it in game. So I will end the tutorial here. It's pretty short because you don't need to do much extra. You can always watch my old videos. Those give a little more explanation on other things, but the Unity part isn't really valid anymore for any of those things unless you want to make meshes for 1.1. I will post the flannel in the Discord to show you guys it worked. Alright, thanks for watching, and I hope you understand it a bit. If you need any more explanation, you can always send me a message and I'll try to answer it. I'll be on vacation from Thursday until next week Saturday, so I won't bring my PC, but I'll be online on my phone. So if you need any help, I can try and give that to you. Alright, thanks for watching, and please let me know if you successfully ported some stuff.